Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and in this video I'm going to cover the Grandmaster Nightfall for the week of August 9th, if I can do day math correctly. And the goal with this one is to get you guys through the Arms Dealer Strike, which is going to be your easiest Grandmaster. Just take some patience, and you can actually cheese the boss. It's still something you can cheese. Now the main reason is the Plug 1 is your reward, and this is going to go into the content vault after this season's up. So this is really your last chance to go for Plug 1 or Adept versions. And you know, why not get the Adept one while you're at it. Now, you're going to have Void Shields more frequently than you have Solar Shields. You might have 1 to 2 Solar Shields in the final boss arena. I think that's mostly it though. If one comes up along the way, I'll point it out. But most of them are going to be Void Shields, and those are on all the little flamethrower guys, the Incendiors. That being said, my build is not going to worry too much about the Void Shields because I want to take advantage of the burn, and the burn is solar. 25% bonus to any outgoing damage for solar, I will take advantage of it. Now, I am running Gjallarhorn. If you don't have Gjallarhorn, I get that, but to solo this thing, the amount of damage you need to do to the boss to move him to his first platform and make him kind of leave you alone, you need some pretty good output. I tried it with the code Duello, and I just could not get enough damage into him quickly. And then I was left with a little bit more chaos in the boss room, and I died. Now, if you don't have Gjallarhorn, I highly just recommend... I don't even know if it's... If you don't have Gjallarhorn yet, I would probably recommend making that a priority. Going to do the dungeon with that. I think you do have to own the dungeon, or you have to own the 30th anniversary pack, I think, to get Gjallarhorn and play the dungeon. But, again, this is a very, very good weapon. One that probably everybody should own. Now, I will tell you guys, there were Void Shields, but the way I'm getting around the Void Shields is adaptive munitions. Now, I know not everybody has a new purpose from the Duality Dungeon, adaptive munitions pulse rifle. I fully understand that. Totally get it. Now, what I had been using instead was my Syncopation. I've been using this thing since Witch Queen. And then I used the Staccato with adaptive munitions. That's one that I've been using. Still allows me to take advantage of solar most of the time with my primary, so I can do more damage. Triple tap on this thing's been serving me fairly well. Another option you could do is adaptive munitions on an Ogma. I do recommend you guys get and keep one of these at some point, so if you don't have one, hopefully the gunsmith can be your friend at some point, but one of these is good. This will break the shield on the barrier champions actually much faster, but your solar weapon isn't going to quite have the range to plink people off farther away like a scout rifle would. So there's preference in what you've got available first off, and then also how you prefer to play, what shields you find more important to break. But this way, my pulse rifle has adapted munitions, and I can use probably the best staccato that I've got. It's a triple tap explosive payload, so I get that PvE bonus damage, and the triple tap helps. Now, I will tell you, there is something about this staccato fusion rifle, or scout rifle, and maybe just scouts are hitting harder, and I don't expect them to. It's just a precision frame, nothing major, but I swear this has like intrinsic high caliber rounds or something weird, because every time I'm hitting enemies and I start hitting them a couple times, they get staggered like crazy, and you'll see it in here. So I don't know if it's the weapon, the strike, I don't know, but this thing works. But you're going to need, and again, if you don't have that, then you're going to want to take something like Pointed Inquiry. Adaptive munitions would work there as well, and that would be your void weapon for shields. And since that's your scout rifle, this would be your pulse rifle up here. Syncopation, I know most of you guys probably have one of those. You can even craft it. So there are options. It just depends on what you've got. If you've got anything solar with adaptive munitions, that's going to be great. If you manage to have one of these, even better. If you have like a really good option here. If you don't have a really good, like, you know, triple tap, explosive payload, damn near god perfect scout rifle, then it doesn't really do you much good to put this up here. Just mess with what you've got and see with what you've got. Mods, I am running Classy Restoration, and then Bomber is a crucial thing when we go to cheese the boss. This makes you just get your grenades back faster, so you get a better benefit there. I am only running 88. I could probably swap over to one of my other pieces, like even these boots would probably get the job done for me to push me up over the edge. So that's one of those things I could swap over to, just because my resilience isn't that high here. Even with the resilience stat on there, if I put it on here, it'd be like damn near maxed out. But for now, I'm just going to run with 88 to show you guys you don't need like 100 resilience, so I'm like 2 stages down. I will recommend the Solar and Void damage mitigation plus Sniper, just because the combination of things that are going to hit you, those are the ones that are probably going to hit the worst and most often. I am running Classy Restoration for the heal. It's just a survival thing. If you don't want this and you don't really care about it, Revitalizing Blast every time you stun a champion, getting that bonus damage was amazing. Believe me, I'd actually love to run through there with this thing. This is just nicer to have. If I run this one and I go Resilience, for example, now I'll be up at 93 Resilience. I don't have the healing, so I don't have Classy Restoration, so I'm going to try this first run this way. If I cut ahead and I die, like I show you guys a quick death, it's because, hey, I died and I just want to get this thing done, so I'm going to use Classy. Unstoppable Scout, Anti-Barrier Pulse, I've got Melee Wellmaker, Well of Life, Well of Ordnance, Elemental Time Dilation, and then Melee Wellmaker as a Titan. You do that every so often. So that's my general build, what I've got going on here. This is a recent find, so I'm going to try this one. This is my favorite Scout for Solar. It just hits harder than most things with a triple tap explosive payload, and Galley's kind of a must, and this helps me get my abilities back faster as well for both my Barricade for healing, which I'm not actually going to use as much, but my Barricade's going to get my grenade back faster, which I can use. So, that intro out of the way, let's jump in, and again, if I show you guys a death, and then I'll basically be like, well, we're switching to Classy Restoration, so we'll see if we get this done. Here we go. Alright, so when you get going, my guides are going to be probably a little more thorough, explaining what's going on in each area, what you're going to see. If there's any, like, major in-between stuff you can skip, but there's really not a ton of it, so we're just going to go full guide. Now, when you get started, you're going to have your Unstoppable champion out there, along with your Barrier champion. Now, you'll notice when I stun him, I get 18,000 damage every time I hit him. Every time you stun a champion, you get that big ignition chunk. So I can literally stun him, and I get an explosion. I hit really hard on a lot of guys. So your goal is to stay back here for a little while. Now, as I said, you're going to have Void Shields on the Incendiors. That's where I've got my adaptive munitions. But I want to focus on the Unstoppable champion first. He's the annoying one because if he comes running at you, it's going to hurt quite a bit. But sometimes you want him to run at you, and this is what I mean. When you're playing an Unstoppable champion, what you can do, if you ever want him to not keep track of you, before he comes out of a stun, just get out of line of sight. And then if you wanted to come running back at you, just get back in line of sight. But I can just stagger him here and take him out. The explosive barrel was nice timing. So he's done. And that's getting that 18k from the stagger. If you don't have that, this is just going to take longer. That's the only difference. So now I want to take care of my 2 Incendiors. So I want to work on trying to take care of their shields. Then if I can drop their shield, I want to try and stagger him with this and take these out pretty quick if I can. There we go. That's one. Same thing. Break the shield with the pulse. Finish him up with the scout. Just going to be more effective because when that shield goes down, I'm getting some staggering right now, so I apologize about that if you guys are seeing it as well. Now, I threw the grenade over there as like a hope before he gets his shield back up. He got a shield back up. Not much I can do. Now, if that minigun hits you, you're basically going to get deleted. So if if the barrier starts shooting his minigun, hide. Otherwise, you will just straight up die. You're not going to come back from that. It's just painful. And you'll notice as soon as I start the stagger, they're not coming back. Alright, so now, Barrier Champion. This is going to be where it depends on how aggressive you want to play it. But you put some damage in, watch the minigun. Biggest thing is if you're playing the Scout, you just got to be ready to switch to the Pulse. Make sure you have enough shots. This one, high impact, will probably take like 3 shots. Then right when he gets to that 6th of health. Now I'm going to go Galley just to try and be not forever long in this fight here. There we go. And the nice thing is, the actual killing him or stunning him killed him because I got that damage in. So this is going to be a slower guide, but it should be one that hopefully you can survive. And again, Plug One's a pretty legit, unique weapon. So out here you get to see, you're going to have your illicit guy here. He's kind of a major to watch. You're going to have your group of ads out in the middle. You will have some Scions on the back wall that you'll see. And then you're also going to have the Thresher, who you want to avoid until he flies out of here. You don't have to waste ammo on him, so you may as well just not. So to get started, I usually like to try and throw a grenade, see if I can get lucky with the placement out there, if I don't suck at throwing, which I did. So you're going to have a few ads up here come at you. You're going to have a few Scions. You're going to have a few Orange Bar Legionaries. All these guys are going to be a thing. And for now, those grenades are bad. Those grenades will get you killed, and if one like sticks into you, you're basically done. You're not coming back from that. So the Thresher up there, he's kind of in phase 2 of what he's going to do. So if he's over near this wall, you do not want to be nearby. And this is the stagger I'm talking about. As soon as you start hitting him multiple times, when that stagger kicks in, you really do knock them kind of off their plan. So it feels like there's almost intrinsic high caliber rounds in here. I don't think there are, but it just feels like there are. It doesn't say it specifically, at least, so I wouldn't bet that it is, but it's just one of those weird feeling things. And the biggest thing here that you want to watch is the grenades from the Legionaries. They throw a bunch of them all the time and a lot. Your goal is just to try and avoid those. But the fact that I can shoot and stagger him as much as I do, it really does help quite a bit. These guys hurt because of their weapon. The little, like, lobbing kind of mini grenade shot just starts to add up in damage. Same thing, this guy's coming up. I'm going to try and cook him a little bit if I can. Okay. Now we're in a somewhat safer point. Now you're going to have a couple snipers out there on the back wall. So I'll typically come up here, look for one there, and then one over here. Just make sure you get both of them. I think that heavy ammo fell off the edge, which kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? And again, I'm using inmost light. So there's the other snipers. So you're going to have two different ones. Watch the grenade placements on the ground. Those are going to be something to watch out for sure. Now, this is a point to where you want to use a rocket, you know you've got some on the ground. Be a little faster about things and clear up kind of some of the pack there. Make this a little bit quicker. I know I've got heavy ammo on the ground, so I can do that. I'm not too worried about heavy ammo because I tend to be getting a lot of it in these runs. This Honored Scion in the back, don't forget about him. Take him out early when you get a break. It's kind of a nice time to do it. Now, there's our unstoppable champion. What I'm going to do with him, if possible, is I'm going to use him as kind of a nice little explosion when he gets closer. Because when I stun him, remember I get that 18,000 explosion? Scion just died because of it. Every time I can use him as a stun, I will. And then every time he gets stunned, he's going to explode and give me a nice chunk of damage off some of these guys. And this is the thing, remember, line of sight the champion. And then as soon as he unstuns, he'll kind of run up at you, get another stun on him, and you get that big 18k chunk, and these guys are only just going to have slivers of health left. So I do like the revitalizing blast piece of like stunning the champions, and especially when there's a point where you have 3 unstoppables, which sounds crazy, but it's really not that bad. It makes killing those 3 much faster. And when you stun, you'll kind of get that damage on each other. It's just one of those things that's nice, but you do give up classy restoration for it. And again, this is why the explosive payload, it just hits harder. It's hitting for about 2,200 instead of about 2,000. So it's just a little bit more damage. It's about 10% more. But it just adds up when you're doing so many shots. There you go. There's some heavy. Got this guy to deal with, and then we'll go on. Now, one thing to know about ammo bricks, if you're running rockets, for example, that is a regular brick, I'm pretty sure, or ammo finder. That one's ammo finder because it's glowing a little bit brighter. And then a normal brick will give you 3 rockets, and ammo finder brick will give you 2. And it's good to know the distinction, because if my capacity is 7, I want to make every brick as useful as possible. There's certain places where you can't come back from it. Like I can't come back to certain things. And this is where I'll use the hammer. Now that one threw a brick at me, but I know I've got that brick sitting back there, so I can be a little bit aggressive and know that I've got ammo to take forward with me. So we're going to pick up the solar charge, and my advice is just run it over here and then drop it and don't worry about it. If you want to juggle it, you can, but it's not necessary because we're going to sit back here and manage quite a bit of stuff. So we're going to have a champion come down. You're also going to see some scions, which... Now, that's me saving my butt as a Titan. I totally get that. Not everybody's going to be able to do that. But yeah, there are dogs that come out, so you're probably going to want to mess with those a little quicker than I did. Now, this is where I will unload rockets. fairly quickly just to be sure I take him out. But again, this is the idea. Any champion you want to mess with, just tag him a couple times for the barrier, and you'll be able to basically keep him busy. So any barrier champion that you don't want to, like, watch out for the Scions. The ship won't hit you at this range, so Scions are your priority until those are down so they don't snipe you. And the ship, we're just going to sit here and pick off. Now, I know I have heavy ammo back there, but I also, and granted, heavy ammo fell at my feet, which I didn't really want to pick up a full brick because it's kind of wasted for one, but oh well. But you can pick this guy off pretty quick. We're going to have a barrier champion up there. We're going to go take care of him just a little bit, too. But yeah, the explosive payload here, it just adds that 10% of damage that you get. Just things go a little quicker. 10% faster on all these guys. But on stuff like this, when there's no crit spot, you got to plink away. Okay. Now, I do have a brick there, which hopefully I don't waste, which is good. Now, you want to stay low, and what you're going to want to do is get up near this wall as much as you can. And you'll notice he can't hit me. His shots go just above. So you want to make sure your pulse rifle's reloaded so you're ready to break the shield. And we're going to tag him till he gets close. Now, when he gets to about 1/6 of health loss, you'll see that little bar. When you get that first third, when it's about halfway through that first third, that's when you're going to... That's when you're going to be ready for the shield break. And this is one where you just go for the double... Well, I didn't even have it ready, but... Same idea, though. Be ready as soon as you do any damage to basically wipe him out. Being more cautious. If I had 2 rockets, I would have just deleted him there. But the nice thing is he gets the extra damage for me. Alright. So now I'm going to leave that brick on the ground. I'm going to go grab my ammo finder just because, for one, it's farther back, and 2, it's, you know, less ammo. We're going to grab our little ball and go dunk it. I've got a grenade up. Solar grenade is kind of a must for this if I didn't say that. You are going to want to make sure you run solar grenades so you can actually do what you're doing with the boss. Especially if you're running classy restoration. Your solar grenade is kind of a must. Because it's the only other grenade besides the void one which will do this. We're basically going to cheese the boss through the platform and kill him with his feet. So those 3 will probably die. I'll throw a grenade there as they come out. I'm going to peek back around the corner in case any dogs are still aggressive. See if everything dies around the corner. If it does, cool. We're going to start stunning our champion and taking him out. Also got a legionary here that I can focus on. He'll tend to peek back around that corner and hide, but if you get him before he hides, it works. And then now we're just looking to stun him and get those stun damage chunks. And again, I've got enough rockets right now, and I know I can go pick up rockets, so next time I stun him, I'm just going to hit him with a rocket. Probably kill him. I use rockets up until the boss room that I know I can pick up. So if I have an ammo brick, I will absolutely go use one. But if I don't have an ammo brick to take to the next section, I will keep my rockets and plink away with smaller ammo, just so I know I'm going full into whatever section is next. Because you're not going to be able to retreat back here for ammo, and there's certain checkpoints, kind of checkpoints really, that you'll get to where you're not going to be able to get any more ammo, and I just tend to want to go into each room with as much as possible. That's just me. Now, in here, depending on where the guys have walked, you're going to have a Scion on the bridge. You're going to have usually a Scion back there a little bit. Explosive barrel might be around. Take out that Scion. Another explosive barrel back there. You're going to have 3 legionaries down here. So my advice is get a little bit of cover and work them down one by one. Don't worry about time on this one. You'll end up with like 170,000 points. So the biggest thing you got to worry about is finishing. If you're doing this thing solo, take it slow. No rushing required. Here we go. Alright, now this next section, when I start running, you should not stop running, because the timing of when enemies spawn is kind of crucial to make sure you're not overrun when you walk out the door, because I did this and I had to wait on a friend who was running with me, and by the time I waited for them, there were enemies much closer and kind of basically blew up my Sparrow. So when you get to that point right there, after those 3 guys and you start going, do not stop. So at this point, you're going to want to jump on your Sparrow, take a hard left. And you're doing this to get past any of the enemies that might be jumping over here before they get here. Jump off. Get on this taller one. Thread your needle through here. Jump on the rocks. And then you're going to want to get up to this box and behind it literally as quickly as you can. There's a champion here that we do have to take care of, so I got to make sure I can actually see him since I can't. It's not a great position. I'm going to hit him with a grenade here just to give me a different angle. Now, he's probably going to be ready to be staggered soon. His health is pretty close. He's Arc. He's not going to hit as bad as Solar, but he is still one not to totally mess around with. Okay, there's my stagger. Now, once I've got this game going on, I can go Solar, and then I can start messing with him with this. Couple shots, make sure I stun him, get the explosion, take him out with this, and the main reason is I'm saving ammo for the next room. Now, I know I'm getting low on ammo here, so I want to make sure I reload. I'm ready for my stagger. But yeah, that 18k just chips away at these guys that much faster. Be ready if you get him at all staggered just to go for that, and that should kill him. Sometimes he'll drop ammo. I think he dropped a prime engram. We're good to go. Next, we have the tank and quite a few ads, and also quite a few of the void shielded guys. So we're going to come over here. I'm going to reload everything before I get around the corner. Now, what I do as a Titan, typically, is I'm going to just use my super and just kind of abuse it. So I would do that whatever class you are, because you'll get your super back. I just use my super here to try and take out the tank. I got to get a little lob on my hammers, but I try and get as much back there as I can. Watch the shots from the tank. If you're moving back and forth, you should, you know, see it come in, hopefully not deal with too much, and then I'm going to go get in cover over here, let the tank do his thing, and then I'm going to start working these ads down. There's the tank shots coming in. Now, there is an unstoppable champion that'll be around. Right now, I'm just picking off the ads that I know I can see without getting too exposed. Tank is still firing. A little scary, but it's manageable. Alright, now that we got shields up, I gotta start breaking some shields. So again, your goal with this, anything adaptive munitions, break the shield first. This is why a ranged pulse is gonna work better than, say... Scout's still the best with adaptive munitions, but that pulse is doing kind of a nice middle ground for me. I know not everybody has that. You could swap it and have a Scout here and an Augma, whatever you want to do, really. Once you kill enough enemies, you'll see everybody bail hard to one side of the arena. And at that point, it's tank time. And literally just focus one wheel down, stay in cover. And once you see the big explosion, if you're not getting crit numbers, then you're not able to do anything. We're going to hit one more wheel. And if you did a decent amount of damage with your super, and this is the thing, I can stand out here wide in the open. I can wait for it to fire, and then I can just literally slowly walk to the other side. It's not hard to dodge the tank shot from far away. Just make sure you know the timing of when it's coming, and you should be good. Now, I've got heavy ammo on the ground over here. This is the thing I want to start keeping track of. I've got 2, so I can be more aggressive with my grenade use depending on what I'm doing. I got my unstoppable champion back there that I can start using for stuns, and also getting some damage on those guys. You'll have barrier champions eventually up there, but for now, you're literally just working down the ads that you see. I have 3 heavy ammo bricks on the ground. You can be lucky, you can be unlucky. But one thing you can do is if you start having heavy ammo drop, you can abuse it. Like, you can get a lot of work out of your heavy ammo. Now, there's your barrier champions. You want to stay out of range of them. I'm going to try and get a shot on him since I know I've got a lot. Just trying to move this along a little bit. Come here. Okay, he's done. Now, you will have more ads coming to you, depending on where you push up to. Watch for the barriers to peek their heads up. If they do, just be aware that you can use this little piece to your right as cover. Right now, I'm just trying to take out all the legionaries I can, so I get my focus on the barriers. So you're trying to pull any of the legionaries forward, and then watch for any barrier champions coming. And I'm just about barely in and out of range at this point. So you just got to watch your distance. Notice they're trying to... You can hear them shooting over there. If you listen to the audio cues, you'll get a lot out of that. This guy's just really on me right now, so gotta make sure I get him taken out. And again, the adaptive munitions is crucial. It allows you to take advantage of solar on one of your weapons, at least. Your main primary one. Get that bonus primary damage. Make things count for a little more. If I actually finish this whole run without using Classy Restoration, I'm going to kind of be impressed. Because that thing will save you if one of those grenades gets near your head. Really, dude? It's just a nice backup to have, and especially in the final moment. See, there's so much heavy there, it's not even funny. And you'll notice the range is literally this back wall. Trying to finish off those last couple of guys, and then we'll go get an angle up top. What are you doing? Waiting to try and catch me off guard? I see how we're doing this. Now, one of these guys you want to take out pretty quickly with your pulse rifle. So make sure you've got cover if you're going to flirt with a barrier champion. Cover down here, cover up there, whatever you're doing. You want to make sure you have some. Make sure your rockets are reloaded, because we're going to basically delete one of these guys if you've got ammo to work with, which hopefully you do, because it's been reasonable on the heavy drops. Now this is stupidly close, I'll tell you. Now I'm doing this because I know I can get close. That barrier champion up top is up there. I thought the other guy jumped on me, but it was just the body of the other one. That was stupid. Sometimes you gotta get aggressive, but now you guys see what I'm talking about, where you can kind of mess with them a little bit. I've got so much ammo, I'm just fine. So make sure you got cover between you and them. Missile's getting a little gutsy. And again, play the head game. He can't hit me with his gun because his gun can't see me. I can shoot him in the head, but he can't do much to me right now. Now, same thing. I can play the game of the shield. As soon as he pops the shield, I can break it, get my nice little explosion. Just play defensive positions. Keep his gun out of line of sight. Be ready with the reload. There we go. I'm going to go for the finish. For entertainment value, why not? There you go. Alright, I got 5 rockets, so I'm pretty good. I won't use those until I get away from this platform. If we've already hit the switch... I don't know, did I? I don't know if I hit the switch or not. Guess it'll tell me real quick if the elevator comes down. I did not hit the switch. Typically, I like to hit that switch first because it kind of controls my position there. At this point, I'm going to have to do this a little bit different just because I'm hitting the switch from so far away. It's not great to try and get back over there in time. I'm going to try to get back to where I want to as this thing comes down. And I'm going to try and put damage again. Super is up. Always moving while I'm doing this. And there are 3 unstoppable champions. You want to make sure you're ready for them. Get out of line of sight. And you can start stunning these champions. Let them explode and kill each other. It actually works pretty well. When you start stunning them together, the effect of the explosion from the champion will stun the other champion. Now I'm going to go hide. I'm going to go take care of that tank. The Unstoppables will only chase you so far. The tank is a bigger worry. You're worried about the tank, line aside him. You got one. If you got an aggressive guy, let's just work him down. Tank's going to make me change my underwear, but that's fine. Damn. Calm down. Alright, I got so many rockets, I'm going to throw another one up there at him. And again, wait for him to fire. Make sure you know where it's going and move. Same thing as before, we're going to focus on a wheel. As soon as he fires, shift the other direction. Just wait so you know where it's going. Fire. Move. Really? You're not going to let me finish it with one wheel? I got to do this? Okay, apparently that took one more shot. Tank is down. Got a couple champions up there. And apparently that guy's explosion killed the other one. That's why I am enjoying the explosion, but Classy Restoration would keep me alive. And if I get to a point where Classy Restoration would have saved me, say in the final boss fight, then yeah, I'd be really annoyed. But hopefully we can get through it. There we go. All right, I'm going to grab some ammo as I head up to the top. Actually, we likely have is the elite over there. Yeah, I'll usually put a rocket into him. Speed the process of killing him up. Now I know I've got a full brick to pick up there. So my big thing is ammo. We got dogs coming. I got ammo over here. I'll just kill those dogs that way. Watch if you got any stragglers. There we go. Now, hunters can just, like, flip and make themselves radiant. I don't know if warlocks can do anything for radiant off the top of my head. Titan, I can use my throwing hammer on an enemy and get radiant, but actually I have to hit somebody with it. But again, for hunters, when you get to the boss phase, between Blade Barrage and then making yourself radiant with your little flip that you can do, you can definitely have some higher damage output than I'm going to have. So maybe an alternative weapon like a Code Dwello, a decent solar grenade launcher would work. But for me, just, you know, Galley's just been the safest damage output for the boss room that I've got. Alright, so up here, we're going to have the boss come out. You've basically got to push him back. And our goal, again, is always making sure manage your heavy. If you see heavy drop, you can be more aggressive with using it. A little strafing back and forth here until he jumps backwards. There we go. Jump up here. You'll usually have one or two enemies up in this little corridor. Really? You can use your buddy's shield for a block. That's what I'm saying, the staccato. It, like, pushes enemies. It's so bizarre. So now we got Boss Man. Now, if nobody else is on that platform, I'll just sit here and try and push him to the next platform. Because any damage you do right now will not count, so you're going to have to do it all over again. So, there you go. If you can get him to move, it just, you know, frees up space. Now we're going to focus on the flame turrets. There's going to be an unstoppable champion coming, so be aware that he's going to be around. That's this guy. And I'm just going to bounce back and forth, cleaning up some of this upper deck. And also working on that champion. Also got this guy here, this Phalanx. He's always a little annoying. And that's the thing, anytime he comes into view, just since I'm ADS with the scout rifle anyway, it just makes stunning him easier. Come here. And again, line of sight him. He won't chase me around the corner, so I've got a little recovery if I want it. Try and speed that along a little. I'm damn near about able to finish him, but I'm trying to keep this safe because I do not have Classy. And I don't have a healing grenade either. Because we're cheesing the boss, we have to have a solar grenade. If I wasn't cheesing the boss, I could probably go healing grenade, which I would use every so often, which would be nice in a similar fashion, but no healing grenade, so we gotta go safe. Because we just cannot take that much damage and survive. One more hit, and this guy's gonna go down, and we've got a similar guy on the other side over here. There's one over there. He's just sometimes hard to see. So if you want to get a vertical view, jump up on here and see what you're working with. So it looks like I've got one legionary up top. Got a shielded guy down below. Got a couple of Scorpius. I did get an ammo brick to drop, so that's nice. I can use a little more on my rockets. You should be done with Unstoppable. Just have one barrier up there and one barrier down here, or maybe they're both on the floor, but you got 2 more barrier champions before you get to the boss room, and then we are champion done. And those will be all your champions for Platinum. Why are you running? Where are you going, dude? Now, the barrier champion with the minigun, he'll delete you. So he's your focus if you find him. And this is where, since I saw Heavy drop, I'm going to use Heavy to try and kill him. Now, sometimes they'll wander on a line of sight, so be aware that that can happen too. I try and take out the Legionnaires before I get to messing with the barrier. But if the order of operations calls for it. Now, that is not the minigun one, but that's just the one I could get to, so we've taken a few ads out. Now, if they both go to the lower floor, you can play the vertical part of this, too. If you got any ads back here, I'll go for those. Barrier champion's just going to take the shots here. All right, what are you doing? Okay, I got to be ready for a stun. Now, the stun on that guy did not give me the 18k pop, so the ignition didn't quite count for whatever reason. If you get any damage on him, be ready for the stun. That did count. But again, if you get the stun, I would much rather play it safe. Make sure I've got enough damage, or ammo, I guess, for another stun. Learn your gun. Figure out how many shots it takes with your gun to get a stun off. Mine's usually about 3, and I get a consistent stun. So I want to make sure I've got at least enough trigger pulls in my gun to make sure I can always stun. That one's 2 because I got some crits, and he's down. So I've got my ammo up there that I can pick up. You have no radar. Make sure you got no stragglers before you go and jump down. You will have one more major tucked in the corner over here. I'm going to grab that ammo. It's only 2 for 2, so I'm not going to waste any rounds there. Okay, before you touch this switch, we are going to climb the chain. Now, what this does is it prompts, as soon as the elevator triggers to go, start its journey up. What's going to happen is the boss is going to come out, and it gives you a lot longer to shoot him, which is how we're going to unload about 6 of our Galahorns, hopefully. Get enough damage off, get your super off, save at least 1 rocket for the Thresher, and then you should be mostly good. Alright, get up here to where you can basically bump into this thing and you're good. We're going to fall back down. I usually slide most of the way. And then whatever class you are, catch your jump. Now, we're going to have some ads come out. Right about there. So I usually throw a grenade to try and get them started. That'll keep them busy. And then from here. My goal is to hopefully... I killed him quick, actually. Now, the platform will not start its journey up until you get on it. So at this point, if you're up here... You can get on it when you want to. Make sure everything is reloaded. If you want to wait on your super, if you used it, for example, this is the time to sit here and wait for it. There's no reason to go in there without it. Now, I am pretty much good. My grenade's not really going to help me too much right now. I could wait on it. I could not. Biggest thing is when you get to the top, or when he's going up, what you're going to want to aim for is right at that little lip right there, dead center, and he's going to be above it. You always want to make sure you're aiming these rocket shots. You may not get tracking on them. Doesn't matter. Just make sure you're hitting at least the right area and get all of these rockets to count. Now, yesterday I had a weird glitch when I was running with a friend. For whatever reason, it went black screen and it teleported us to the top. If that happens, yeah, that's unfortunate. But normally it doesn't do that. But we're here with about 33 minutes. We're still doing good on time. Grenade should be back up by the time I get to the top. So I'm going to jump on the platform and you want to hide by the boxes. So as soon as he comes up, 1, 2, I'm going to crouch and reload because I don't want him to snipe me. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right, I'm going to reload. I'm going to save my last one. I'm going to use my super now, because what I want to do is move him and do enough damage to him that hopefully he puts his little flare up. Now the other thing you want to do is go hide in this corner and be ready for the Thresher that is definitely going to come. Now if he goes up top and doesn't shoot his flare, you need to hit him a little bit more. There's your flare. Thresher is going to come. This is where you save your rocket for. Stay back here. Crouch behind this wall as much as you can. When that Thresher gets to a point where it's parked, you're going to want to hit it with your rocket and kill it quickly as you can. This is where this is where a Titan barricade will come into play. Alright, Thresher is down. Now this is where a barricade helps as a Titan, I get that. But if you could dodge like out wide, you're going to have some ads out in this little area. This is all you've got to do. This is the last set of ads, so play really cautious over here. Do not peek out if you don't need to. There we go. Only a couple more. We're almost to the point. The boss is up there. We're never going to do anything else to the boss besides the cheese. So get ready to find the cheese. Now, if you back up here and you got to get away from a grenade, just don't let the timer go off. And again, we're just working these ads down. Stay safe over here. That one Centurion has the shield, so you want to be careful. Keep out of range of that grenade explosion. That stuff will hurt more than most things right now. Looks like I've got one more at. Oh, I've got the flamethrowers to take care of because I didn't quite kill those yet, so be careful. Alright, and you can breathe. Make sure you check and see if there are any more ads. You should be good. Nothing else you can really do at this point. I did get some random rocket ammo over here, which isn't going to do me any good. Because what we're going to do at this point, and I'm just going to skip forward to the end once I get it started, is we're going to cheese the boss. And the way you do this is with a solar grenade. You can do it with a void grenade as well, but a solar grenade is what I got for this subclass. He is standing, as you can see, he's about right there. You can even peek out here and check his health if you want to. You can see his health. But your goal is you need to figure out where he's standing. So my guy's like right there. So I'm going to throw a grenade right under his feet. And you can see the damage tick. And all you're going to do is kill him through the bottom of the platform. And when you get his health down to 0, he's done. He's never going to come out of the shield. Nothing else is going to happen because you didn't proc the strike to move on. Because you have to pick up that ball and dunk it over there to get him to come out. But if you just wait for your grenade to come up slowly, you'll just burn him through his feet and you're good to go. Same thing there. As a solar titan as well, you can take advantage of your sunspot super, so that'll speed the process along. I don't think any other super is really going to do anything for you, so keep that in mind. If you got a titan, this one has some benefits. Now, as for the barricade and the ship, the other option is literally to stand over here for the Thresher. Neither side is amazing, and this one's harder to get to, so that side, if the Thresher gets you, I totally get that. And if you like come back to me and I say in my guide, like, the Thresher got me, what the hell? That's totally fair. And that's a point where I would probably advise Classy Restoration, just to make sure that you actually get the benefit of that healing in that moment, and that can help keep you alive. For a hunter, if you dodge and you got Classy Restoration in there, you dodge out a little bit, you got some healing going on, and then you come back in, you should be good. As long as when the boss gets up on this platform and you're able to make sure he shoots that flare up to put the shield up, he will not bother you. If you don't do enough damage on the elevator ride up or with your super at the top, and he's sitting up on that platform and can snipe you, he can delete you in one hit. So if he hits you, you'll know it because you'll basically be dead. But if you can get him up here in his little shield, the ads are not that bad. The Thresher is the big worry, and then after the Thresher is down, you're good. So I'm going to burn through his health slowly, and then we'll get back to the end right before I finish. Alright, Guardians, he is nearly dead. Let's take a look at his health bar. You can see it is very low, and my super is charged up, so let's finish this thing up and see what we get for rewards. Now, this is the only super that can do this, because it's the sunspots that can actually get through the floor. Nice thing is about the sunspots, you'll get an ignition every so often of a big pop. And he's done. Got an Insurmountable, got an Adept, got an Ascended Shard, and 4 Prisms. I've got so many Prisms from doing this, it's crazy. So we will go back to the tower since all my stuff is full right now, and we will see what we got. But that is the Grandmaster Nightfall Arms Dealer. Slow, steady, and yes, it was cheesed, but if you have any of these weapons, any of these loadout situations, definitely something a solo person can do with a lot of patience. I've died plenty of times practicing this, but this is like my 3rd or 4th run solo. Very, very doable. Let's go see if the rewards are any good, and we'll wrap it up. All right, Guardians, that pretty much wraps it up. We got a plug one with Heating Up and Cornered or Compulsive Reloader. Nothing amazing there. I actually did get a really good Heating Up. I think Feeding Frenzy, Reservoir Burst. Can't really argue too much on that one with stability like crazy. I've got Accelerator to Liquid Coil, so I've got a couple. I got Adaptive Munitions on here too. I don't know if I will ever use that, but I'll kind of take those 2 perks. And then for my Insurmountable, we also got a 62, which is, it's fine. Nothing amazing, but it's fine. That's basically what we got. That is a wrap for the Grandmaster Arms Dealer. If you guys enjoyed the guide, drop a like below. If you've got a loadout that works for you for soloing this thing, please drop that in the comments because I'm always curious what everybody else is running. But if you want to find me on Twitch or Twitter, I will be streaming Cult of the Lamb probably this weekend and probably today as well. If you guys see this one, we've got the podcast tonight at 7 p.m. On Thursdays, it's always there on my YouTube channel. And then if you guys are YouTube members or Patreon subs, thank you for that extra support. If you haven't subbed to the channel yet, hit that sub button. I will see you guys in the next one.